Hey, welcome back, Connor. Unless you want to.
No, thank you.
Unless you want to. Thank you. Do you want to? All right, that's it. All right, how are you? Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to our meeting of City of Scottsburg Code Enforcement Board. And we're beginning by calling our meeting to order. And today is July the 16th. This is Wednesday, 2025, and basically 1:02 p.m. And we begin by our roll call. So the roll call would be Troy Roth. Here. Daryl Cyphers. Here. Bob Betts. Bob is not here. So we have 2 out of 3. So our next on our agenda is approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented? Okay, Daryl makes a motion. Troy seconds that. Yep. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, unanimous, thank you very much. We'll go to old business. Council, we have any old business?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay, then we'll go on down to new business. The first is a hearing on the order of notice regarding the 515 South Main Street. And Josh, you want to go from there?
All right. So 501. Or 415.
Yeah, 415.
Yeah, you threw me off for a minute, 'cause the
415.
next one bleeds together. So here's the order of notice that was issued to the property owner, Daphne Embry. Eagle Financial has a lien against the property, so they were also served notice. It's my understanding Scottsburg Police Department posted notice at the property. Brian has confirmation of that. He's been back at the property
Yeah, I was there the other day and she had the notice that you had sent her.
Okay.
She had showed it to me.
Okay. So, at this point, if we can get an update from Brian, basically the order of notice was indicating that the premises was unsafe because the structure was a fire hazard, a hazard to the public health, a public nuisance, and dangerous to a person or property because of a violation of a statute or ordinance concerning building condition or maintenance. And that there were several things there. I'll let Brian get into more of the specifics. He's been inside the property. We also have a neighbor here that I think will be able to give some insight as to what it's like on a daily basis next to this property. But as far as the inside condition, again, I'll let Brian get into the specifics, but from the pictures, I think he'll be able to show there's some exposed wiring, some holes in the drywall, holes in maybe the subfloor. Obviously those items are not up to building code. There's also numerous animals, numerous dogs that are being housed and kept at the property, that are excess of city ordinance. So as far as the ask of the property owner, as you might imagine, when you have numerous, and there's obviously excess waste being accumulated due to those animals, that creates vermin. So remove the vermin, remove trash, debris, fire, hazardous material in and about the unsafe premises, and repair or rehabilitate the unsafe building to bring it into compliance. Initially, the order required that be accomplished in 10 days from the date the notice of this order was given. So what we would typically, what I would advise my clients in hearings such as these is this is the opportunity for the property owner to come to you, because we don't know what everyone's situation is. Some people might be able to do something right away. Some people, as we all may or may not know, it might not always be very easy to find a contractor, but we don't know everyone's situation if they don't come to us and tell us what their situation is. And Brian, I'll let Brian speak to that if there's any noticeable improvement at the property since the order notice has been served. So, Brian, I'll put you on the spot now.
No, that's fine. I was trying to load up the photos. I'm kind of having a little IT here. I was there last week. She was outside burn pile out there. She was trying to burn an old mattress. She had dog feces out there. She had two big, instead of 5-gallon buckets, about 2 10-gallon buckets full of dog feces. Fire department was there. We had her put out the fire, obviously. She was cleaning around the porch. She had moved an old mattress and an old door up to the front for our city guys to pick up, which we do. But then, as far as inside the house, she did state she still has the 10 dogs inside the house and has not started anything as far as cleaning or doing anything like that to update on the inside of the house. She did state that she would possibly let a couple of animals go. I told her if she wanted to do that, we could have animal control guys come and I can coordinate that. We would be happy to work with her. Some of the dogs are mean. She has stated that they will bite. And then obviously from the pictures inside, she's got way more than the ordinance allows. She was cleaning up the outside a little bit. As far as the inside, according to her, nothing has been done on the inside. I can try to open it up here. This is as soon as you walk in the door, you can clearly see the dogs are chewing through those electrical wiring just right off the bat as soon as you walk in the door. Let me see if I can get it.
Daryl, can you see that okay?
Yeah. This thing kind of lagged on me here. This is again, when you walk in, you can clearly see right here, that's plumbing, that's drywall, it's exposed right to the outside. The floors were covered in dog urine all the way throughout the house.
Is that the exterior wall that we're
Yes.
seeing then
Yes.
of the house?
Yes.
Is there any holes in that exterior wall?
No. Let me see. It was just low and go slow here. I need to pull up. This is when we went in there, we went in there twice. Once me and Denny, and then also we come back with Denny and the state vet came with us. There's one animal there. Again, that's the same back room, the wall. I'll see if I can't make these just a little bit bigger. Oh, sorry. Again, exposed wires. That's one of the bedrooms, the dog feces in the bedroom, just laying in there. Now, again, these were taken several months ago. She could have, but we have not been back inside since then. But you can smell when you go up to the door, you can smell the odor and the urine. I mean, it's just coming out. Here's where she had the buckets outside full of dog feces, trying to get rid of them like that. This is the inside of the house. You can see, this is just dog hair and dog urine. It's just matted into the floor. This is the front room. She has a lizard there, another dog. That's the state vet that was in there. As you can clearly see in the front room, there's 1, 2, 3, like 4 or 5, and there's 2 other ones, so 6, 7 dogs just in the front room. All in cages, all the time. She walks them once a day. And then you can clearly see this is just dog hair, dog feces, just matted into the floor. Again, here in the hallway, you can clearly see, exposed drywall here. We chew through here, chew through here. The floor is wet, you step on it, it squishes. This is what's inside the house. Again, another wall there is tore open, another one in the hallway tore open. Another door that's ripped in half there. That's one of the animals that she had outside. I believe that dog's name is Leo. She said that one will bite. It's not like guys, it will bite. Here again in the hallway, you can see the floor clearly matted wet. Again, by the dog bowl.
Was the dog chained?
Yeah, she had, before we went in, I had asked her to put the 2 dogs that are pretty vicious, to put them, because she has several German Shepherds, and then she has a pit bull that while we was there with the state vet, had jumped over the fence and charged at Denny, the animal control officer at that time, and charged at Denny. And it didn't bite him, but it was right there where Denny did have to draw a weapon because it was right here, right in front of him, barking, vicious, growling. So, you see there's another dog there in front. She stated the other day that she still has 10 dogs in there. So, just on assumption, if you still have the 10 animals in there, I don't believe you would be remodeling and fixing the floor at that time. There's Daphne there, and she's got another dog. Outside, this is the pile she was trying to burn the other day, but that's dog feces. She piled up out back. So we've been there several times. The dogs have been out several times. They've jumped through the window, over the air conditioner, broke the window, jumped out, went up and down the road. The neighbors had problems with the dogs. Coming around, one of the pit bulls had come around and chased him up onto his porch. Had a call there. So several, and this has been an issue for several years. So that's pretty well what I had. There's the kitchen. She knew we was coming, didn't even bother, but she knew we was gonna be there, didn't clean up. So you can see the floor is wet, just dog pee, that's all that is down here. That's what that is.
What questions does the board have for Ryan?
Oh, those are 2 buckets, sorry, that's still there, that was there last week still.
So what, is there a limit You said it's about a limit on how many dogs?
Three.
Three.
Three animals. It can be a dog and a cat, two dogs and a cat or whatever,
Right.
but three animals.
What did the state lady have to say?
Ryan?
The state vet, she stated that the dogs weren't in immediate, health concerns. She did check for the ammonia levels in the house, they were in the acceptable measure. I will say the first time me and Denny went in, she did not have any air conditioners going. And then the second time we came back with the state vet, she had all the air conditioners going. Obviously, to suck down on them, obviously. From being in there about a minute and a half, all you can about handle, and you got to get out of there. The state vet, she deferred to us just as far as our ordinance, as far as, the three animals, but there was no signs that the animals were unfed or mistreated, anything like that. She didn't have any concern about that.
Does the board members have any other? For Brian, okay?
And we do have a report from the state vet also.
We have a neighbor here who lives right across the street. Would you mind to come forward and state your name and your experiences as well?
My name is Christy Colson. I live right across the way from her. With having all those dogs, I've never had an issue with mice or anything until the last couple of years. And now I can't get it under control. And sorry.
Right.
Like some of those dogs I super love, like animals, period. Right now, you guys know of 10, there's 13. She went and picked up 3 the other day. Those are 17-gallon containers on the back porch, and I know that because I bought them for her because she needed them to get back and forth to the laundromat a couple of years ago. The dogs get loose, he's not wrong. They knocked the air conditioner out probably a year ago and have done it 3 times since then in the back room. And animal control came, the city cops came a couple of times. I had to help them to corral a couple of them because they know me, so they wouldn't come at me. One of the pit bulls that he referred to that jumped and went at Denny that dog alone has killed 5 that I know of that are buried in her side yard. Now there are 7 animals buried in that side yard. I don't know who killed the last dog, which one of the dogs did. And there's a cat that they ran down and killed. And I know that for a fact because I had to bury it because she laid it on her back porch for 4 days before she told me about it, and I went and buried it. That dog, when he gets loose from her, he's like one of those XL bullies or whatever they call it, like the bigger ones.
Yeah.
When he gets loose from her, we just have to get inside because that dog is not, he can't make nice with anybody. The other 2 that are kind of mean, if I'm outside, I can give them to me and they're nice, but they're not like that with everybody. We have a handicapped gentleman that lives down the way, and he'll be walking with his cane, and he got chased up on somebody else's porch one day. We have small children in the neighborhood. I'm just ready for something to be done, because I have a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old stepson. Neither one of them want to go outside. We have an elderly neighbor who has to sit inside her house and put her dog on his leash while she sits inside because she's on oxygen. And just hope that none of her dogs are out or loose because she can't get out there, get her dog back in. I don't know what else. I mean, Terry's made notes and everything of my contact with him over the last 2 years. If there was any other questions or anything you wanted to refer to. She moved that stuff out by the road one day last week. And it is still sitting there. And when she moved that mattress out of her house last year, you could see the mice jumping off of it. It was that bad. And one of you had asked while he was talking about, is it livable? She sleeps in her car. So no matter how livable anybody could consider it, she doesn't consider it to be. when her electric gets turned off pretty routinely, there's no air conditioning or whatnot in that house. So she opens all windows. And you can smell it inside my house with my windows closed. And sometimes it is absolutely nauseating, especially when she's got them open. It's absurdly hot outside. They're open, the dogs are howling. It's sickening, really. And I hate even coming to anybody to enforce free dog or free animal policy, because some of those animals that she's got are really great. And I know that we have like a high euthanasia rate. Like, I hate to think that could happen to them. But my neighbor asked me, like, is quality of life as important as quantity of life? Like, they're not getting put down, that's right. But they're living in those conditions. And some of them, for a while, she wasn't walking every dog every day. She would walk the front half of the house, those dogs one night, and the next night she'd walk the back half of the house. So they were only getting out every other day. I don't know. Now, I work mornings, which is sometimes very difficult, having to be at work at 6 a.m. with dogs howling all night. So I think that's a overview of what we get to deal with next to it.
Christie, can you spell your name?
KRISTICOLSON.
KRISTICOLSON.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Couple things.
Yeah.
I talked to you on Monday night.
Yes.
You mentioned her being in her car. Is she actually living in the home, to your knowledge?
No, she goes in to get the dogs, walk each dog, and then she retires for the night to her car.
To your knowledge, when's the last time she actually lived in the home?
It's been over a year. When she moved that mattress out, actually. Like, because that was her bedroom.
Anyone else live there besides her?
Not in the 5 years that I've lived across the street.
The mice infestation, obviously, the large number of dogs, the aggressive dogs, the smell, any other issues?
The incessant howling.
So that happens all night.
Like, it'll calm, but then if somebody walks their dog past, especially on the times when she has her windows open and they can hear it, then it starts an all-night howl with only 3 stops to it.
You have other questions for Kristen?
Yeah, just one, I don't know the lady, but is she mentally
You know,
sound or?
with,
I know we can't.
with the amount of ammonia, it's not healthy for her at all, or for anybody around her.
Right,
And, just to let this board know as well that our Scottsburg Animal Control has given multiple, I don't want to use citation, but warnings,
right,
and letting her know that she's well over the city ordinance of 3 animals. And we said that we would come and pick them up, and anything over excess 3, she would not let us have any. Even though we said we would keep them for you in our animal shelter, feed them, make sure they're well, kept well, and so when you get your life straight, and you can have them back. So, but again, she would not allow us to do any of it.
right.
May I ask, the lady, she's incredibly kind. She started doing this, like, with a good heart.
Right,
She's very nice. She loves those animals. She loves each and every one of them.
right,
And she thinks that she's doing right by them, I think.
right.
I mean, she truly loves them, each and every one of them.
Yeah, address is 401.
415 South
415.
Main.
It is 450.
And I've seen that as well as Troy's probably seen that in houses where they just have such an abundant love for their animals.
Yes.
It just overpowers them and they don't know what to do, it seems like. So, but again, this has been ongoing for 2 years.
Oh, yes.
So, Counselor, anything else we need to go on here in the next one?
There's no one else present. Brian, anything else to add based on Christie's testimony?
No, I would confirm everything she said is correct.
So, Brian, from the outside, is the structure from the exterior, is it at all in an impaired structural condition?
It doesn't appear to be that way from the outside, just from my general knowledge, not from the outside.
Obviously, on the inside, there's electrical concerns and that thing
Yes.
we're aware of, but it doesn't appear the home's in fear of falling down or anything of that nature.
No.
Okay. As far as what we were asking for, based upon, the testimony you've heard today, we were originally asking for, 3 things under the statute. There are additional items that this board can order. We were originally asking for the extermination of vermin and about the unsafe premises, the removal of the trash, debris, fire hazardous material, repair, rehabilitate the unsafe building, bring in compliance, as required by the ordinances of the city of Scottsburg. So the other items that, or at least the one other item that may be appropriate to discuss is the vacation of the unsafe building. It doesn't sound like she's living there. There's probably reason for that. We can opine as to why that is. But Brian, based upon your observation of the property and hearing the testimony, do you feel that the property is safe to live in at this time?
At this time, I would say no, as I've not been back in there since I took the photos. But speaking with her last week, she made it clear she had not done anything to the inside whatsoever. She told me she had 10 dogs, and then like you said, she went and got more. So I would assume nothing has changed on the inside. And with her obviously not staying in there on her own.
And paperwork here show that it's under lien to a financial company.
So the Eagle Financial has a judgment against her. So it's a civil judgment. So they have a, basically suitor has a civil judgment of a considerable amount. So they have a equitable interest arguably in the property. So
Would they foreclose on it and force her out?
in my experience, no. They could, but in my experience, no. Off the top of my head, I believe it's around $5,000-6,000. I mean, they would quickly spend that attorney's fees to file a foreclosure. So, and I don't know what the property would be worth at this point. So, rarely do I see a bank pursue that route once these, a city or an entity starts this process. But they have received service. Eagle Financial was served with service, as was Ms. Embry. Notice was posted at the property, which is one of the personal service is one of the options available to us under statute. As we'll get into in some of these next 2 properties, personal service is, we're being recorded. Be careful about the things I'll say about the United States Postal Service these days, but personal service was given on this property and posted at the property. So I would ask that the board find that notice of this hearing and the order regarding the unsafe premises was served in accordance with Indiana law by posting at the property. I would ask for a motion to that effect.
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Sure.
Second by Troy. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you.
So the next thing for this board to decide is you basically have three options. You have the order and notice that was issued by Brian. You can accept it, leave it, so affirm it. You don't make any changes. You can vacate it. Basically say, hey, the testimony we heard today, this order didn't need to be issued, or there's been improvement, no longer needs to be in effect. Or you can amend it, make it more restrictive, less restrictive, and go forward from there. So the next step for this board would be considering those steps and then issuing what's called a continuous enforcement order, which basically allows the city, after following steps of due process as far as notice and depending upon whether we use our own labor or outsource the work, to get bids and go to the next steps to effectuate the cleanup of the property.
Is the cleanup of the property just outside or inside as well?
Well, at this point in time, since we don't really know the current extent of the inside of the property, it would depend once we get in there. And sounds like the immediate, we know the items outside are causing issues. If there's items on the inside that are causing the vermin, logically extension of those issues, then we would be able to clean those up as well.
What would legal counsel recommend?
I mean, Brian, based upon Brian's testimony and the testimony of the neighbor, that she's living outside. I mean, she's not even living in the property. I mean, I think that's evidence to me that if you have a property owner that feels, for whatever reason, I mean, it's 90 degrees outside, that it's not safe to live in their own home. Probably not safe to live in their own home. So, I would recommend to amend the order to also include, that the property be vacated until the time that it is, improved to that it's brought back into accordance with our ordinances to be a healthy place to live and suitable for human habitation.
I would then go to our board members in favor of this as well. Whatever council says. Okay, so do we need a motion to pass that?
We would.
Make a motion, we advance.
Okay, Daryl makes the motion. Troy, do you second?
Yep.
Troy seconds. Any questions about it? Hear none, I'll say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Question and concern, be it the city or be it a vendor to go cleaning things up, or just how would this process go? Should we give a notice or something, or how does this?
Yes, we will have to give notice, and we can talk about that, whether or not, it would depend whether or not we have the manpower for time, things of that nature. We have to give, as far as the notice, if it's going to be private entity, then we have to get quotes and then provide that estimate, I believe it's 10 days ahead of time before the work would commence to the property owner.
Okay.
If it's a city, we have to, ourselves basically write up an estimate, give a reasonable estimate of what we expect the work to cost on our end, and then provide that in advance of doing the work.
That, to go a step further, let's just say the city or whoever would do this, what about the danger of animals to those people there? The danger from the animals to those people.
Well, you asked me my legal opinion again a minute ago, and I think we've had a property in the past that we had some hazardous substance that we knew were on the property. And that's, anytime you have a third party that's licensed or insured, we're not putting city employees in that position. We're putting people that, maybe, and I don't know who if there is a, animal rescue group or something like that we could perhaps reach out to, I don't know. But perhaps it would have more skill and training and ability to house and, be interested in working with us to, facilitate this situation.
And we do have two animal control individuals that have well over 12, 15 years in these kinds of things, so.
We had a horse situation in Jefferson County and we were able to get, I think it was a group from like Illinois came in and helped with,
A horse?
yeah, with the, with the situation. So there are groups out there that are willing to help. So,
Well, anything else that we need to do on this one?
we got the motion second, we voted on that one. So I will, that will get recorded and then, served back out to the parties, and then we'll discuss next steps as far as whether city labor,
Yes.
public or private, what we're gonna do there, so. And, that's it on that one.
Okay.
Christie, thank you.
Yes, Christie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So they won't necessarily go to the animal shelter, right?
Not necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna go down to the next hearing on order and notice of 1501 North Gardner, 1501 North Gardner. Josh, can you explain this to me?
Right. 1501. This is the order on this one. This is the property there that is at the corner of Moonglow and 31. Has the, Brian, tell me if I'm speaking wrong, I believe it has two structures on it, has several abandoned vehicles. Yep, we have the picture pulled up there. Next to the storage units. The premises were found to be unsafe by the code enforcement officer due to being in impaired structural condition. I believe you can see where there's several on the front. Maybe yeah, you can see where there's some soffit, if not some roof damage, different items that appear to be a structural condition issue, a hazard to public health, a public nuisance, dangerous to a person or property because of a violation of a statute or ordinance. Looks like there's numerous vehicles that appear to be not properly tagged. There's trash, other items that are stored in violation of city ordinances. According to the utility department, this property is also, I don't remember the exact date, but it's been months that it has not had utilities on. The property has been vacant for a substantial period of time. And the code enforcement officer was asking that the exterminating vermin and about the unsafe premises, remove trash, debris, fire hazardous material, repair, rehabilitate the unsafe building, bring it into compliance, and remove trash. I'll probably say that. So those three items. Brian, anything you want to add on this one? Any improvement in the last?
They've moved a couple, I think they've moved one vehicle, but overall, they move one vehicle and then another one comes back. It's kind of like they're using it as just catch-all storage. They don't mow, they don't maintain, it's just, there's just stuff everywhere. There's nothing changing.
You said most of these are not got registration, current license.
Yes. That's what I said in the note.
So is that, the vehicle being moved there, is that from these people or all around Tacoma? Using it a lot?
So the current owner of record is the Bige Doyle and Julia Doyle. David B. Lewis was also served with notice because there is a recorded contract where he was buying it on contract. So by law, he would have an equitable interest in the property. So service would be made to him as well. Now, this is one where notice was posted at the property. Now, This is one that, Brian, have you had contact with anyone?
I have not, I sent them, cause nobody's ever there. I had sent this letter to them on 6/28. Here's the letter I'd sent to them. Obviously in the mail dated, tracking number, and then I got where it was received also. Where they received it. They have not reached out or made contact to me whatsoever.
And that was sent to the Doyles?
Yes, Julia and I think it's Big, how do you say it? Bige Doyle. 5227 South County Road, 1275 East Crowsville. That's what's on the GIS.
Yes. Which under statute is the address that we can reasonably rely upon. Obviously, if that's the address they're given to receive their tax statement, law gives us the ability to rely upon to give them notices. So the issue that I have on this one is we believe, we're alleging that it is vacant, because there's no utilities on it. The notices I sent were mailed on 7/1. Delivery has been attempted, the first day that no offense to the United States Postal Service, was July 14th, July 15th, and they're supposed to attempt service again today. So I don't know why you spend $15 for 3-day mail service. But anyway, I do not have green card, I do not have successful service directly on any of them. On the Doyle one, I got the receptacle was not accessible on the first one, the second one was unsuccessful. So, we'll see what today's.
I got where I put it in with the tracking number. Here's the same tracking. It says it was delivered. That's right there from the USPS tracking. It was delivered.
So the other thing we can, and we did post it, I mean, at the property. Obviously, my only concern with doing that, and that being the only thing we do and proceed forward, is one, this would be an expensive cleanup. Because there is, I mean, there's a lot there.
There's several vehicles, there's trailers, there's scrap metal, there's the buildings falling down, there's mowing, there's several things in one property.
So I do want to get service on them, before we would move forward, and incur any cost. The other option to us is to, publish on them. So if they just flat out refuse or anything like that, or we can publish on them. And then we can, that is a successful way. Or we can always have shared service to the properties, as well. So we have a couple other alternative means, outside of certified mail that probably will be employing in the future, about as cheap comparatively. So, yeah, I mean, this one is one of those ones that's just,
Sounds like we're gonna have to confirm, have the sheriff's department possibly take out a notice and have them sign for it. I'm assuming.
yeah, and this is, so we talked about this in our initial meeting. So under statute, unless you're basically required or asking for someone to tear down the property, you don't have to give them a hearing. So they can ask for one, but you don't have to give them one. So this process here, and us giving them, we gave them this day, hey, you can come talk to us, tell us your side, is basically open, have a line of communication. So in theory, that would help. Hey, we're trying, we're gonna do what we can, and instead of us just bullying forward and just doing whatever we're gonna do, we don't wanna spend all this money. If they're gonna do it on their own, if we know it's gonna take them 90 days, we'd a lot rather take them 90 days, because this is gonna probably take us just as long to do it. We just like to hear it from them. So point being, we would like to hear from the property owner, and, setting these hearings and providing that hearing date, in my experience over the last 15 years, has been a good success rate in at least providing that initial opportunity. People don't always take advantage of it, but at least, you're trying to get that opportunity, to get them in the door and have a conversation. So, and that's the other thing here is we're trying to give them an opportunity to appear and,
Is
if they
this,
don't take it, they don't take it.
is this letter sent to this other gentleman also, or?
Since both of them.
Both of them?
Yes, sir.
So basically, we will put this to carry over to the next month's meeting.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so hearing on notice 1501 North Gardner Street will be held until we can confirm that notice has been accepted by the owner. So now we'll go on to hearing on order and notice 422 North Meridian, Scottsburg, Indiana.
All right, so 422 Meridian is, Kenneth Peacock is the property owner. Scottsburg Building and Loan, according to the recorded documents, does have a mortgage on this property. They were provided notice of the order, the notice, emailed it. We also sent it by regular and certified mail, make them aware of the situation. Mostly, this is a lot of trash, items in the yard. Brian is showing us pictures now.
I'll try to explain. just-
Yeah, Brian, you want to jump in?
This is behind the house here. I'm trying to zoom in, you guys see. Crazy. But this pile, this is just old trash, debris, junk. You see the weeds have grown up. There's another structure here, junk's just piled up here. This is right behind the house. And this is from the opposite road, just standing on the road. Looking.
From Washington Street, right?
I believe it's Washington, yes.
Yeah.
Zoom out a little bit here. Here it is again, that's the pile back here from the front.
So I think this is a rental.
Well, it is, and it's actually duplex. It looks like a single house, but you've got 2 meters there. And I did find out that it is a duplex, one in the front and one in the rear.
Here's stuff in the yard, they got old office chairs, bookshelves, metal shelves. You go out there in the front yard, they'll have a cookout in the front yard, whatever stuff they don't use, condiments, they just leave on the table, they just leave it there for a week. I went past there this morning, they have cleaned up a little bit, and they have took down some of the vegetation, like the tree limbs, and they removed some of that, but there is still several piles, just junk. The front porch, it's a little hard to see, but from going up there and putting those on the doors, this is right here, you see the trash is here, but it's piled up, it goes like this way on both sides, it's piled up, just junk trash, just on the front porch. Here's, the broken down chairs, the dirt bikes, the trash up here in the front. This stuff is out. Obviously, you're not gonna use that for a child anymore. But, they're putting trash in that, just leaving it, just broken down items. And it's unsightly, obviously, as you drive by and you see that. There's a car seat that's been out in the winter and the rain. I mean, that's what you got. Trying to get some more. Again, from the side, you can see the stuff piled up here. Or it's not the best photo from the road here. You can see just from walking up there to the door, it's all there. Here's a note I sent him on 12/23 of 2024. Sent him one, sent. Here's another one I sent him on 6/10. I have spoke with Mr. Peacock. They have stayed at the house behind there, and we're gonna get it, people are living there, they're not paying rent, we're gonna evict them. I've heard that for over a year, we're gonna evict them, this and that. And of course, that never happens. I do believe he is on dialysis, I will say that. One of his caretakers, I don't know if it's his daughter, that I spoke with a lady who's been there like several times, I talked to him. And she has called me before, and stated that he is on dialysis and stuff. I just want to make the board aware of that, his situation. But still though, a year to evict and get rid of this is pretty lengthy.
Approximately 4 weeks ago, Assistant Police Department, Steve Harold, Assistant Chief, or Lieutenant Chief, and we went there and we did go on to that enclosed porch, knocked on the door. The trash, I can verify what Brian's saying, it's piled up on both sides. So many gnats and vermin and odor and again, attack dogs on the inside. And, so that's another thing we're dealing with here. So.
Here's what they do, they always do like fires outside. And you can see it's that's a Coke can, chip bag, stuff. I know it sounds small, but it's always bread, mustard, ketchup, it's every single day. It's always, or just leave it. Obviously that attracts the vermin and the animal, obviously.
Well, the city has an ordinance that we can have a fire pit. It has to be, under direction of what our fire department has, so we can, but you're not, it's for burning limbs and firewood, but not trash.
Right.
And again, I see trash inside those fire pits. So it's just something thrown together, would not comply with our fire department.
We'll say here, they've kind of cleaned up on the driveway here, they knocked some of these weeds down. They just basically shoved some stuff up against the garage that's pretty well fallen in. That garage, now that they've got the weeds down, it appeared to be not really structurally sound. It's kind of hard to tell with all the vegetation blocking it, obviously from the road. That was, the backyard again. That's just where I sent letters and, obviously here's the tracking and here's the date it was received, the letter. So I've sent 2 notices. I talked to him in person. I talked to him and the lady. They're staying at the house right behind it on Washington Street. And it's like a white, it's not really a house. It looks like a white old garage. It's directly behind it. And they've got a couple of windows on like a half, it looks like how it was a garage. It was all junked up on the inside, it was a couple of weeks ago. Because the windows were busted out of it, you can just stand right there and just look at it. So,
You're saying on the property we're talking about now that there's busted windows on it?
no, on the property behind
Yes,
where Kenneth
yes.
is, we're staying.
Right. I saw it as well.
All right.
So on the GIS, the address for Mr. Peacock's on Terry Road. Is that the address that you had the mailing up there? If I can see that, Brian, is that the address?
1809
Yeah.
North Terry Road, Scottsburg.
And you were able to get service at that address?
Yes, the post office, I had the, right here, which said it was delivered June 11th, sorry. Saying right there, it's tracking number, it was delivered. I've had it delivered 2 different times, one from last year, one now. That's what's on the GIS.
Council, what's your opinion here?
So this is another one that I believe the police department posted notice at the property.
Yeah, they did.
We served the mortgage holder Brian, was there any effort in between 1st of July and now, any improvement to property, any contact by anyone?
No, I would just say in the past 2 weeks, they had took down some of the vegetation and like they had limbs and stuff they piled up front. And they did have, one time they had like 5 or 6 bags out front. It looked like trash and they removed that and the limbs, I believe the city came and picked that up.
So with your contact, has it ever been with Kenneth directly? You mentioned someone on dialysis, is it Kenneth?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So your contact has primarily been with his caretaker?
Well, she was there with him. She had called me one time and that was last year when I first had, talked. She said, hey, we got your letter, I'm calling you, say we're gonna work on it. He's on us. And then when I was over on Washington Street, I didn't know that they were staying there and I was looking at that other house and then she talked to, me and then he actually opened the door. I didn't realize that was him, but he said, yeah, this is who I am.
Okay.
You know, it was just a coincidence. I didn't realize I wouldn't know him. He's walking down the street.
Yeah, I mean, at this time, it sounds like that there may be some minimal effort occurring. However, issuing your, an unsafe order, or go ahead and move forward with the continuous enforcement order is not going to, do anything but continue to hold their feet to the fire. Brian, as far as in the initial order, exterminate the vermin, remove trash debris, fire hazardous material, repair, rehabilitate the unsafe building, bring into compliance with the building conditions, maintenance required by ordinances of the city of Scottsburg. Anything else at this point in time need to happen?
No, just, from my, side, my view is the outside being, obviously the trash and debris, the broken down materials need cleaned up. Needs to be maintained, you know, cleaned up and keep it that way, maintained.
I know you said this, Kenneth Peacock is actually living there.
And he was living in the house behind it, right behind it, there's a house. I don't know if
Do you have contact with the person that is living there?
I had talked to a lady there last year a couple times. I had just been driving by and she was coming out and I had talked to her and, you know, I get the normal, oh, we're gonna clean that up tomorrow. Yeah, and she's in the car and gone. That's about the extent of that.
There's basically one car that's broken down that I've seen unless they've towed it, but it's been sitting there for quite a while. But in the evening, there's about 3 cars parked in the front yard. And every now and then it's in the driveway. I did see 2, looks like 4x4s back, further back by the garage. I don't know if they're still there or not, but
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, based upon Brian's testimony, I think affirming the order does no harm, keeps their feet to the fire, and add it to the agenda next month. We can see, I mean, at this point in time, in my opinion, if there's any movement at all, let's see where it's at in 30 days and try to keep contact and keep it moving. We now want to have the order and the ability to go ahead and go in and, yeah. And just from the records off the top of my head, I believe the mortgage expired, or the mortgage final date, the expiration date was sometime within the next year or 2. So my assumption is there's probably not a whole lot of money owed on the property. So probably doesn't want a huge tax bill all of a sudden. So might be some extra incentive for them to figure out a way to get it cleaned up on their own.
I'll go, on all these properties, I will go and, before the next meeting, try to within the day or two, get photos. I'll try to update, check in with them, but try to take more photos so you can see, before and maybe a day or four before the next meeting. So we have, as close as we can updated to look at.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, Brian. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I guess we would need probably a motion from this board to affirm.
Make a motion to affirm.
I would ask that the motion also find that we have made all reasonable efforts in serving notice of today's hearing and the order and notice.
So said by Darrell. Cyphers. Is that second by Troy? Okay. Very well. Thank you, council. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. I think that's going to wrap up our day today on our Scottsburg code enforcement. I want to thank the board. I want to thank Brian Lunsbury and I want to thank legal counsel. Thank you very much for helping us get Scottsburg cleaned up.
Absolutely. While we have everybody, let's go ahead and get the next meeting
Set, that'd be great.
set, and then if we have any properties that come up now in the meantime, we'll have the date to include in the order. So, if we're looking, we're trying to get into a routine. This is the third Wednesday. 1, 2, 3, it would be August 20th at 1 p.m.
I'm good.
Works for me.
Okay, sounds good.
For me,
Let's do it.
Okay,
I do want to say that the code enforcement, I have noticed that a couple properties that I happen to drive by several times during the week have made drastic improvements. So I think it is working.
by us having a code enforcement in our city, it's basically having everybody just keeping their property up. And it basically lifts everybody's value, but more than that, I feel it lifts the pride of our city.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I want people to be proud of I want people to be proud of their city. And we do that by keeping it clean. And, and where people want to come here and say, hey, I want to live there. Yeah. And, so again, we're certainly not trying to hurt anybody or anything of this nature, but we're just asking for cleanliness. And that's what we see today. It's not, so thank you very much. We will look forward to seeing everybody on the third month from today, basically around 8:20 at 1 p.m. So thank you very much. We have a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now I have to go back to work.
Would you two prefer